Right Honorable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee met yesterday to agree on the business for the second week ending the 17th of February 2023. Mr. Speaker, it is our proposal that in total 38 questions be answered in the ensuing week, 1 urgent and 37 regular questions. And that, Mr. Speaker, can also, in accordance with Order 72, admit statements from members. Of course, Mr. Speaker, depending on the nature of government business, papers may be laid and affairs made to committees to do their work. And if there's any reports, committees may present their reports. And then, Mr. Speaker, if there is any motion to be debated, same can be done with consequential resolutions, if any, taken during the week. But, Mr. Speaker, we indicated that considering the volume of work, especially questions that have so far been filed, and the need to attend to all of these to enable members give the necessary feedback to their constituents, we urge all ministers to ensure punctuality and ensure that they get their responses to members on time. So we are appealing to ministers to liaise with the table office and schedule their time to make room for business in this house. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of the domestic debt exchange program, pursuant to your directive, we engaged the Minister of Finance, and we have his assurance to be here on Thursday, the 16th of February. Then, Mr. Speaker, the launch of the 30th anniversary of parliamentary democracy under the Fourth Republic. Right Honorable Speaker, members are aware that this year marks 30 years of parliamentary democracy since the inception of the Fourth Republic. In this regard, Parliament has embarked on a number of activities throughout the year to celebrate this monumental milestone. In view of this, the official launch of the 30 years of parliamentary democracy is scheduled to take place on Wednesday, 15 February 2023 at 9 a.m. The venue will be duly communicated, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the order for the business in the ensuing week is attached, though not marked, but Mr. Speaker, it's a 7-page, it's an 8-page, Mr. Speaker, document which has been attached but unmarked. But Mr. Speaker, I would like to draw attention to question 1233 and 1234 standing in the name of Honorable Member for Keta. Though the question has been admitted, but my strong suggestion to the Honorable Member is that if you really want the desired effect for the benefit of the constituents, maybe in future he may have to find a different way of couching his questions, because this may give you a general response. And if you see some honorable colleagues, especially my respected friend Ablakwa, he has a way of putting his questions to get specific answers. You know, he may help you. So please have a look at that, because Keta is my area too, so I'm interested in the matters there. That's why I'm giving you this advice. Mr. Speaker, it is expected that the CI will be laid. It is expected. The Electoral Commission may lay its CI. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the Constitution, the Article 11C is clear. Article 11C is clear on the mandate of Parliament when it comes to executive instruments, legislative instruments, and constitutional instruments. So, whereas Parliament has a mandate to scrutinize, Parliament cannot also obstruct a constitutional body from undertaking its work merely because it has some disagreements. Parliament has a mandate through its subsidiary committee on legislation to have a critical look at it, but Parliament cannot obstruct or prevent a constitutional body which has a constitutional mandate to conduct public elections from...
Honorable Leader, can you proceed with the business statement, please?
So, Mr. Speaker, as a business committee, it is important that we highlight some important matters for members to appreciate. So, in presenting the business statement, these are matters I need to highlight. That we have our own bona fides as MPs, and the Constitution has also laid down certain provisions that we cannot do anything about. So, Mr. Speaker, these are the matters that I want to bring to the attention of the House. Mr. Speaker, having said this, I move that, subject to Order 162 and Order 53, this report be adopted. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, when the minority leader was on his feet, after stating his objections, he concluded by saying that he's putting it to us. He said, I put it to you that we are rejecting this. I put it to you. So you are putting it to us that your mere disagreement is You see, Mr. Speaker, when they were shouting, everybody here kept quiet. This is one thing that gives you a negative marks. This is the minus about you guys. This is your only minus. Very intolerant here talking about democracy. Mr. Speaker, I know they will never keep quiet. So, Mr. Speaker, merely disagreeing does not mean that this report should be rejected. Now, let me take you through it. You see, my respected colleague, Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim, quoted Order 160 and 161. I rely on the same provisions to put across this point, that the Business Committee's report is merely an indication of what is supposed to be undertaken in the ensuing week. As a House, this is one motion that it does not need to be seconded. This is one motion that it does not require a resolution of the House, if you don't know. Two, its adoption is at the discretion of Mr. Speaker. Its adoption is at the discretion of Mr. Speaker. And I may want to read to you what Order 160 says. Though you quoted it, but perhaps you have not read it in extenso. Two, the 162. It shall be the function of the committee, subject to Order 153, to determine the business of each sitting and the order in which it shall be taken, provided that the powers of the committee shall be without prejudice to the power of Mr. Speaker to determine which matters may be properly be introduced into the House.
I know.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, this is the law that Ahmed was relying on to ground his objection, and I'm saying we cannot have a democracy if you continue with this posture, intolerant posture. Mr. Speaker, so whatever we have here is indicative of what is expected to be done. Mr. Speaker, there is a difference between a business committee's report and an order paper. You can rush to the rooftop and shout if you see it on an order paper when you have not been engaged. Mr. Speaker, Kwame Agboja is still going through baptism. We will confirm you soon. You are not at the back there. You are not at the front. When I'm on my feet, you keep quiet and listen to me. You keep quiet and listen to me. If you want a point of order, get Mr. Speaker's audience. Look, you are not at the back. You are not a backbencher. This is not what you do at the front bench. You don't do this at the front bench. Your leader is on his feet. So get Mr. Speaker's attention first before you respond. This is not the behavior at the front bench. This is not what you do here.
Can I have some order in the floor, please?
You need the attention of Mr. Speaker.
You are on your feet. Honorable, you are on your feet. You are addressing
Mr. Speaker, I'm on my feet.
Please continue and address me. You are addressing me on a matter. Continue and address me. Please disregard any asides. If I give anybody the floor, I'll ask you to sit down.
Leader,
please.
Leader, come, take me. Let's suspend for some minutes. He just called me and said,
Mr. Speaker, we are not dealing with an order paper. Mr. Speaker, we are not dealing with an order paper. Mr. Speaker, we are dealing with a business committee report. Mr. Speaker, we don't need to split hairs over this matter. So, Mr. Speaker, sometimes when your brother disagrees with you and you believe in the solution, you grant him a temporal relief so that you get on board and so. Today is Friday. Mr. Speaker, I would want to yield to the views expressed that would place the issue of the CI on ice for now. Yes. No, but you don't have to get it done. So we place it on ice for now. So subject. Mr. Speaker, when you want to agree with them too, it's a matter. So, Mr. Speaker, we agree with the issues raised and that we are going to place the issue, we will place that issue on ice. And then, Mr. Speaker, as per minority leader submission, the majority leader had indicated to him that we would engage.
That's right.
So subject to the outcome of the engagement, we may have a supplementary, report. No. Subject to the outcome of the engagement. I'm saying that for now, we place it on ice. Yes, in other words, placing it on ice means that it will be part of the report. Place it on ice. So, Mr. Speaker, we are placing that matter on ice so that we can proceed with the report. And then, Mr. Speaker, as indicated by the majority leader, which indication minority leader has confirmed, we will engage and come to some agreement. Then we proceed on the matter. Mr. Speaker, I do not think that it is also proper to make certain statements, especially when these matters are trivial. Other than that, Mr. Speaker, we may be coming here and we may be quoting ourselves on matters that are not meant for public consumption. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim has been in leadership for long, and I pray that in future, matters that have been discussed, which discussion, no. What you said about the majority chief whip, that he said, no, please, Ahmed, let's make some progress. It's not appropriate for you to say that for the record. He has never said that in Parliament. So please, Ahmed, it's our duty to guide the House, guide Mrs. Speaker, assist him.
I need to respect.
Please,
When did I say that?
let not be said by you any longer.
No,
Mr. Speaker, again,
No, I respect.
We agreed that we will deal with business statement as a business statement. But the first meeting is the leaders themselves who are.
And if leaders will not assist the chair to regulate the meeting, we cannot have no proper governance. Please conclude and let's proceed.
so, Mr. Speaker, I would want to plead with my colleagues on the other side that just as the business committee for the time being has accommodated the majority chief whip, the deputy minority leader, and the minority leader to sit in business committee meetings, although officially we have no reconstituted committees. If we want to go in the stricter sense of raising issues of procedure and law, maybe we will say that we will not make progress. So I will plead with them. We are accommodating each other, not strictly on procedure, but for the House to function and function effectively. So, Mr. Speaker, I will plead that when there are such issues, let's discuss it. And as Mr. Speaker said, we are consistent. And if the front bench is splitting heads, what will become of those our followers? Should we say we will not allow the three to sit at business committee meeting? Yet they have been sitting and contributing. Is it part of our rules? Have we reconstituted the committee? Does that mean that whatever we did is illegal? Does that mean that whatever we did was illegal? They participated. So please, there must always be a give and take. But we on this side, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, agreed to place the matter, not to expand, place the matter on ice. Mr. Speaker, unless they want a shine of victory, please let's make progress. I'm saying that we are placing it on ice, subject to the indication by the majority leader to engage through said so. To engage you. When based on the outcome of that engagement, we'll take a decision on the stand. That's it. I support without more.
Yes, you have any other matter on the program? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first, it is obvious that the business statement that was presented does not reflect the business statement we agreed on.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, Mr. Speaker, if you are talking about engagement, it's fine. But don't say we should learn to engage. Mr. Speaker, if we do not know how to engage, would it allow you to sit in business committee meeting when you are not a member? You are not a member of the business committee. Mr. Speaker, but we are going to succeed because we engage you, because we want cooperation. So, Mr. Speaker,
Shall we make progress today? Shall we make progress? If you don't learn to run some of the things,
that's not fair at all. Mr. Speaker, it is not fair to use certain words to describe your points in leadership. That we should learn to engage. If we don't know how to engage, we wouldn't say let's sit and work together, pending the reconstitution of the committees. So please, let's be mindful of our choice of words. Having said this, I have nothing more to add.
yeah.
I think this morning, when we were dealing with the business statement, some few issues came up from the minority front bench. Their contention basically was that government business, which was discussed at the business committee, did not include the CI that they found in the report. Clearly, all the allusions made of bad faith are misplaced. Reason being that the majority leader had engaged the chair of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee, no less a person than Honorable Dr. Dominic Ayeni. And this CI has been with us for some time. But we all agree that we should engage as a house so that we would fine-tune some few issues, and eventually, when it is laid, there will be no controversy. So it isn't the case that it was smuggled into the business statement. In any event, the business statement, once presented, is merely a recommendation of what we intend to do in the ensuing week. It is not a final document. In any event, the rules of the House further empower Mr. Speaker to use his discretion to give us direction. So, to me, any issue they had could have been resolved quietly in a manner that people watching us would appreciate how we approach things. So, they merely raised their voices to me for nothing. That notwithstanding, we've agreed to engage them. We've agreed to put that on ice. And again, by way of explanation, items that appear in the business committee report do not necessarily come on the order paper. There's a difference between having an item on the order paper and giving an indication of something to be done in the business committee's report. Again, not all items that are on the order paper are considered. They are all subject to engagement, discussions, so that the floor work will be smooth. So this is just the point I want to put across without more. Thank you so much indeed. Oh, sure, if you want to.
Yeah, so the minority raised some issues concerning the CI, the supposed CI, which is supposed to be laid.
There's nothing like smuggle. Let's avoid that word. And there is also nothing like supposed. I raised this constitutional issue on the floor. The EC has a mandate by the Constitution to come out with a CI to regulate its work. And don't forget the case of Benjamin E. Mensah versus the Electoral Commission, where the Supreme Court had to place on ice for almost a year the District Assembly elections, merely just because the Electoral Commission did not have a CI to regulate that election. So having a CI for carrying out the mandate of the Electoral Commission is very critical. If we are not careful, we may not be able to conduct District Assembly elections. So it is our collective interest as a nation to resolve this matter. As to the details of the CI, I'm not going to go into a debate on that. That will come when the committee brings its report. So it's not yet time for us to discuss it. What is important is that we are supposed to engage, and that engagement, we on government side agree to that, and we are going to engage. Except to say that the new leadership of the minority wants to register its presence at the front bench. So that's why you hear all the noise, the lie, the shout. They want to prove a point. So we can understand. I mean, it's baptism. It's baptism. So after the baptism, they will do their confirmation. So they just want to make a point that they have arrived and they are there. So they want to make a point to their appointors from the party headquarters. They want General Chairman Asedun Katia to know that yes, they are going to do the job. So no problem at all. It's part of politics, we understand. They need to please their masters, so no problem. But I think that some of these matters, we don't need to split heads over them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.